Hello everyone, I am Renown Zero, and we're back again talking about the Power Rangers executive producer Simon Bennett believing that to reach a large mainstream audience, the franchise has to move away from its tokusatsu roots, which, by the way, this franchise already has a mainstream audience. It's still watched to this day by people on Netflix, I'm sure. And besides that, this next season coming is supposed to be the final season anyway. So what large mainstream audience are you trying to hit when this franchise is already mainstream? Pretty much everyone knows what this is. Everyone knows what Power Rangers is. But I'm wearing a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right now. It's like, what are you doing? This comes to us from Bounding in the Comics. In the latest example of Hollywood's inability to understand just why fans are unashamed to unironically enjoy their favorite franchises, which I'm sure people will still nowadays, to this day, shame you for watching Power Rangers, even though it's fun to watch. And as an adult, it's actually even more fun to watch because you can point out all the weirdness of it. You can see all the you can kind of predict what's gonna happen as an adult, and you look at it like, oh man, I can't believe this used to entertain me, but it's still entertaining. Like, Power Rangers is still entertaining to watch, even if it is a little goofy. Power Rangers executive producer Simon Bennett recently shared his belief that in order for the franchise to reach a large mainstream audience, it must move away from its tokusatsu roots, which is exactly what it's about. For the most part, these things were using Japanese footage in order to create this show, but it seems like these dudes are like want to go far off from what it is. It seems like after JDF suddenly unalived himself, y'all want to be silly with this. Shout out to JDF, the best person to do it as a Power Ranger. Bennett, who first served as the director for the Ninja Steel / Super Ninja Steel and Beast Morpher series, which Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel is trash. It made no sense how none of the people, besides like the two people, the person that was the Red Ranger and the Gold Ranger, were the only ones that ever actually trained in fighting, and for some reason all the other ones knew how to fight properly or just as good as them, even though the people that were the Red and Gold Ranger knew how to fight because they were trained. Beast Morphers I haven't seen. Before moving on to serve as the EP for Dino Fury, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always, and the upcoming Cosmic Fury first raised a suggestion for the franchise's future on August 24th, which, if I remember correctly, Cosmic Fury was supposed to be the last season. Speaking to the ongoing pushback from fans against his decision to have Cosmic Fury feature original suits and footage rather than archival material from either its source Super Sentai series, Kyushu Sentai Ryo Soldier, and Uchi Sentai Kyo Ranger, the franchise EP condescendingly trotted out the tired defense. Call me radical, but I suspect that those adult Power Rangers fans who are also dire Super Sentai fans may be vociferous when PR deviates from its traditional source material, but are also a minuscule percentage of the viewership of the show, which is made for children. As always, this whole these people are the minuscule. This is a rinse and repeat of every single franchise. It's like, the vocal minority. It's that same garbage deflection of this whole minuscule, or it's a vocal minority defense. In turn, Twitter user at Dam's Turn argued, quote, made for children doesn't mean you can't have a mature approach, to be honest. Disney era, specifically RPM, are proof of that. I think we can't blame anyone because they want the license they love to be better at their eyes. Personally, if I turned my head to Sentai and Kamen Rider past current, it's because they are more of what I search for. The mature approach, I think a license like that should have to share a vision and message to kids, they added, but that's my opinion. It's really broken English. Quote, Super Sentai and Kamen Rider are fantastically imaginative and brilliantly successful, replied Bennett. I love them and also adore Studio Ghibli films. However, some aspects of these properties are very specifically Japanese in their sensibilities and will therefore be of niche appeal in the US. Absolutely incorrect. There are loads of people who watch anime who love the Studio Ghibli films. And even people that I know that don't really care about anime have watched the Studio Ghibli films and love them. To attract a sizable mainstream audience in the US, a process of cultural translation is required to Americanize the shows. He continued, this is what Power Rangers has been doing for 30 years. Wrong. It's been using footage from Super Sentai for 30 years, and it's been one of the most popular franchises in American history of TV. That's why people still talk about Power Rangers to this day, because it was something they grew up with, and they were able to pass it down and show it to their children, and then they enjoyed it, and then their kids grew up and they loved Power Rangers. Dude, it's been a franchise that's it's been passed down to generations, and still relevant today. After 30 years, Power Rangers is still relevant, which is crazy to think about. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers hit the zeitgeist in the early 1990s, 1993, as it was new. Bennett recalled, and there was nothing else like it on Western TV land. Maintaining the scale of its success after the newness wore off was always going to be a challenge. The newness never wore off, by the way, until, I think Operation Overdrive. I think that was the peak of where people were like, this is terrible. I think part of Hasbro's goal to move Power Rangers to be fully original is to reduce aspects of Sentai style and design, which the designs of the Sentai suits are really good, in my opinion, which may be challenging for you as kids. The franchise EP then claimed, the superheroes in spandex fighting rubber monster suits trope is a hard sell to audiences brought up on Marvel and Star Wars. No, it isn't, but I digress. Especially now, in current Marvel and Star Wars being complete trash. Roughly 2 weeks after engaging in this thread, Bennett would again argue in favor of Power Rangers distancing itself from Super Sentai, this time while offering his thoughts on the current state of Power Rangers while discussing his hopes for director Jonathan Entwistle's upcoming young adult themed reboot of the franchise. Quote, I'm a big fan of Jonathan Entwistle's previous output, wrote Bennett to his personal Twitter page on September 10th, and the effing world, and I'm not okay with this. We're fresh and groundbreaking TV. I'm confident that if Hasbro can get the new Entwistle YA Power Rangers reboot series off the ground, it'll be big and original. We'll have to wait and see, because typically reboots are trash. Bennett's optimism was then met with a cautious agreement from Twitter user at Sonic Blue Ranger told the EP, I hope so. My big concern is it's going to try to veer too far away from the franchise tokusatsu roots in a misguided attempt to try and make PR the new MCU or big nerd franchise in general, which, by the way, Power Rangers Comics has multiverses out the ass, and it's very good. I'd rather read that than watch this if it turns out to be trash. Taking note of their worries, Bennett responded, I think, and this is only my opinion, that to reach a large mainstream audience, the franchise has to move away from its tokusatsu roots. That's incorrect. It's been using those tokusatsu roots for 30 years, and it's been just fine. I don't understand how these people think that moving away from what made something, it's somehow going to appeal to more people. It's this that has kept Power Rangers niche for so long with U.S. audiences. It's definitely not niche. It definitely isn't niche. He added, ironically, ignoring the role, since such dismissive attitudes towards Power Rangers and Super Sentai's earnestness have played in both franchises, developing negative reputations among Western audiences. It needs to do this in a way that is fresh and compelling. Unsurprisingly to everyone but himself, fans of both franchises did not take well to Bennett's suggestion, with many in turn pouring out to publicly criticize his dismissal of Super Sentai's sincerity. However, rather than accept that this negative perception was the result of his opinion being rather unpopular, Bennett would return to Twitter the next day to accuse his critics of attacking him. No one's attacking you, bro. They're giving their opinion just like you're giving your opinion. The only difference is it seems like the people's opinions who you think are attacking you seem to be better more well versed and more knowledgeable and bigger fans of this thing than you are, which is a major problem with franchises. They always put people who don't seem to know what they're doing. They always want to take franchises in a different direction, then it ends up being total trash, and then they blame the fans for it. Amazing, he wrote on September 11th. Gotta love Twitter. Another mass pile-on as people chose to misread reasonably innocuous comments and attack the poster. They weren't reasonable at all. This really is like digital Deadwood. Met with Akira Manep's frustrated declaration that he, quote, shouldn't be directing a tokusatsu franchise if you hate tokusatsu. Exactly. If you don't want to use the source material, don't make it. Don't give it to someone who clearly doesn't know what they're doing. And his, quote, inability to take any criticism, even when it's productive, shows why this brand's dying. Bennett ultimately explained, I don't hate tokusatsu, I admire it greatly. I don't think it's dying because every time they release new merch, it sells out pretty quickly, especially for Green Ranger and White Ranger merch. My comment was that for PR to find mass audience success in the US again, I think it needs to move away from its tokusatsu roots. He concluded. Again, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is still relevant, still popular, because people, the merchandise for it sells out all the time. Sadly, such denigration of the magic that makes Super Sentai work is expected of a Hollywood creator who admitted that upon joining the franchise, it took me some time to get my head around how obviously Plastic Toys and Rubber Monsters would take it so seriously. So again, giving it to someone that doesn't seem to really care about this franchise. There was laughter at our Japanese footage meetings, admitted Ben on August 20th, where the excerpts selected by the writers were discussed by other HODs, rematching locations and action. So again, why these people from Hollywood continue to be able to direct things that they don't understand and they don't actually care about is mind-blowing. I don't understand why they cannot give franchises as successful as Power Rangers to someone who knows what they're doing. I understand Saban doesn't want to deal with it anymore, but he should really give his thoughts on this. And tell this guy, hey, what the hell are you doing? Do not deviate from what we've always been doing. You're going to screw it up. You're going to get mad at people for you screwing it up, and then you're going to blame the fans why it's trash. Because I thought, honestly, the idea that they were going to make original suits and action scenes, I thought was really stupid. Because honestly, to me, the suits look like trash. I don't know why they think that this doesn't already have mass appeal. I'm pretty sure all the people who've been watching this for 3 decades are going to watch this. It's kind of like the normies who watch Star Wars, even though Star Wars right now is trash, and same thing with Marvel. You're going to have normies who are going to watch this. I personally hated Ninja Steel. Ninja Steel was absolute trash. Once I objectively looked at it and saw what was going on, I said it was trash. But I would have finished it to give myself an actual opinion, full opinion on it, but from what I watched, it was terrible and it didn't make sense. But we'll see how this all goes. We'll see what happens. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button. Comment below what you feel about all this. Subscribe for more content. Join the channel for $1 a month if you'd like to. No obligations at all, obviously. And subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you get notifications anytime I post a new video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.